Oh, poor Pervy Prince Andy. Looks like mommy won't be paying your bill for you. Oh no, maybe that's because she thinks you're guilty. Now, guys, I am so happy to hear that the Queen has said she is not footing the bill for her son, Prince Andrew, in his whole current legal case. For those of you who don't know what that's all about, please check out my other videos talking about Prince Andrew, because honestly, I don't even really want to have to say the types of disgusting things he's being accused of again. But in this video, I want to talk about the Queen, and I want to talk about why this really represents a whole shift in this whole case. Because in my last video that I did about Prince Andrew, I was saying that, I was basically saying that, you know, he and his lawyers are going to try and say that they can't prosecute him because she's not a resident, Virginia's not a resident or whatever, and try and basically do the classic old let's throw the case out because they haven't built the case properly kind of thing. And now we're in a situation where it's come out that the Queen obviously isn't footing the bill, and now he is trying to sell his his Swiss chalet, which he bought for, I think it was 16.6 million, so nearly 17 million, because now they want to try and have a settlement and pay 3 million basically to make this all go away. And honestly, this is just exactly what I always say about how the justice system is run by money. It is run by money. If you have enough money, you could get away with anything. If you don't have enough money, you can get in trouble for everything and anything, right? And it's just so completely and totally unfair. I'm so disgusted that, like, I'm disgusted that he even has the audacity to, like, put this forward as, like, a viable thing. Like, oh, well, I'll give you 3 million. Okay, let me just give you 3 million. Like, first of all, as was pointed out by other fantastic individuals on YouTube, if you know you're not guilty, why would you put that money up? Because this is my thing. I've always thought, and I've thought deeply, you know, about how would I respond in a situation in court, right? If I was being tried for something, and it's particularly if it was something that I had not done, because as we know, the justice system is corrupt, and if you don't have the money, you may be innocent and you may still get in trouble anyways, and that happens, and it's happening, and it's ridiculous. But I asked myself, you know, what would I do? And certainly if for these types of claims, I think there's certain claims, right, where because of how heinous and disgusting those crimes are, I would rather be honest that I didn't do it than ever try and give anybody an inkling that I'd actually done something by paying somebody off. And that amount of money as well, because 3 million is quite high to go in at the top end. And it's funny, like I said, because he's not getting money from his mum. So really it's kind of like, what were you thinking here? What were you thinking? What were your thoughts here, Andrew? Like, did you really? And I bet you, because a lot of these people who are evil in the world, who know that justice system works with money, I bet you any money he's probably had conversations and said stuff like, "Oh, I'm just gonna pay it off. Like, oh, I'll just pay it off. Like, don't worry. Oh, my mum will pay." Did you know that? Did you know that I'm the son of the Queen? Did you know that I'm the son of the Queen? Like, whatever happens, it's just nothing. Because this is what they're like. This is what a lot of these people who do these things are like. And this is what makes me think they're guilty. This is what makes me more inclined to think they're guilty. Because it's like, if you are, why is it that you are turning to the fact that you can pay things off? They always say this, rather than, I am disgusted, I am upset. You know, if it was me and if I was him and I was guilty and this was a real thing, if anything, I would be pledging money forward, right, to support this work being done, to support anybody who's claiming. Because why is nobody jumping in? And this is another good question that just came into my mind right now. Thank you, Lord. Why is nobody jumping in to support the women's legal fees? And I mean, of these characters, if they're so innocent, why are they not supporting, you know, the claims to help these women get what they deserve or get what's happening? Obviously, you could argue that they're saying, well, they're just making up stories or whatever, right? And I really hope she doesn't take this settlement money. And this is the thing, guys. This is why money really rules the world, guys. Money is the god of this world, because so many times, and I've spoken about how, you know, in my other videos, how a lot of people get away with things because there are other people around. Let's not forget there are people around, which is what concerns me. But the people who are around a lot of the time are just being paid off as well. So it's kind of making it easy for them to continue doing what they're doing, because the people who are doing bad things are like, well, we're just going to we'll pay you off. If you stay quiet, we'll pay you off. And I think that's why it works, because a lot of the time people are desperate. That's why desperate people are always targeted as well for a lot of things, because they know a lot of things that people don't fully understand, that it's going to bite them in the butt in the future, because they know that if you're desperate, you're likely to take money, because you're going to be like, oh, this is going to answer everything. And everybody looks at money like the answer to everything, you know. And so this is why I'm really encouraged, I have to say, by the Queen and her saying that she's not going to foot the bill. That's a pretty big thing. They've been the royal family are very, very, like, they will let you talk about them negatively and say whatever you have to say over and over and over again, right? And they will not intervene. They will not make a statement. They will not say anything. When they say something, or when they do something that cannot be unseen or unheard, it's a pretty big deal, because it means that they're clearly putting their foot forward as to what they think and what they feel, you know, specifically. And so yeah, it's really interesting that she's done that. I'm really happy that she's done that. I think a lot of us are really happy to hear that she's done that. I mean, to see that he's now scrambling and having to sell his own stuff just goes to show that, like, what was he even doing now anyway? Like, why are you having to sell something immediately? Were you just literally living off of the money of your mum all this time and just coasting along, doing demonic behaviors, when and not even having like your own money to bring to the table? Like, I'm just really confused here, you know. And obviously these legal fees, why are they so expensive? Because he's probably paying so many people to be trying to find any little loophole. Because that's the thing, my problem with the justice system is they made it so that if you can find a loophole, you can get away with it. And that's pretty much what you pay lawyers for. This is what these people, these sick people, pay their lawyers for, these Pervy Prince Andys and all of them. They pay them to find holes in the other person's case. And that's why even when it comes to justice and comes to bringing things to the forefront, even if it comes to, you know, putting somebody on trial, right, you actually have to be prepared with enough evidence a lot of the time, and a tight enough case when you're taking on people of this level, because they are going to go out of their way on if it's normal people. When I say normal people, I mean people of average, you know, income, or less than even average income, or just even in a similar stage in life, but less, that are not really well off, right? Chances are you've got a higher chance of justice from the simple fact that if you can afford the same level of lawyers, then okay, you might get away with it. But the thing is, whoever has more money, really a lot of the time, or who can afford better lawyers, is going to do better. That's why a lot of people, even now, you know, the government says stuff like, oh, well, you're for so many crimes, you have a legal right to like a duty solicitor, to a duty lawyer. But those duty lawyers a lot of the time are not being paid very well. They're very they've got so many different cases that they're working on. So having those isn't really a solution for you. It helps, and it helps if you find somebody that really wants to fight for you. But even if you have somebody that really wants to fight for you, do they have the money to back that up? Do they have the time to be putting into your case to meet all the deadlines that are agreed with in court? So, you know, I think that just this whole situation and how much money is already being said, we're already talking about 3 million out the gate. From the beginning, he was saying how he was just trying to find a way basically to, first of all, they wanted to just throw the case out basically because they're saying she's not a resident. I think a resident of New York, I think specifically is what they're trying to say. Now they're trying to say, oh, well, we want to pay her off 3 million, and it kind of, and in the last minute to kind of, you know, stop everything. I'm just like, why are we doing this? Like, why are we doing all of this? Why is it just feeling so icky? Like, the more it's going on, the ickier it's feeling. Your family now don't even want to agree, and I'm going to do a separate video talking about William and Prince Charles, because they've also had stuff to say about all of this. And so yeah, that's what's kind of happening right now. I'm happy for the Queen, and I'm proud of her in a way that she really stuck up, because it is her child still, you know. I think people were very quick to expect, and even I was, you know, really expectant, sorry, of her to intervene and to have something to say. I do appreciate, though, that it is her child. Not to say that anybody should condone this behavior in their child. I'm just saying that it almost makes this a bigger thing, that she's really stepping out on and saying she's not going to foot the bill for her own child. Because even when you think about the stuff to do with Harry and Meghan, and people have thoughts about that, at least, you know, when it came to Meghan specifically, she was married into the family. Harry is her grandchild. And there's a bit more of, like, you know, leeway there, a bit more grey area, if you will. But when it comes to Andrew, who's her child, who, as somebody rightly pointed out, was at some point second in line to become king, I think it means a lot, and it says a lot. And I think the people have been looking for this level of justice for a long time. I think people have been waiting to see some action from the royal family. But like I said, I'm going to talk about Harry and William in a separate video, because obviously William is due to probably be king when the Queen steps down. But before we even get into that, I'm going to wrap up this video. Check out that video if you are interested. Don't forget to subscribe, please, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts if you're not in England right now and you're watching this, and if you're in how this is all figuring out over there, because as I've said before, the media here does a very good job of not showing us a lot of stuff. I've learned a lot of stuff from those of you who are like in the United States or elsewhere. So please let me know in the comments what's going on, what your thoughts are, and of course like the video. Other than that, God bless you all, and I'll see you in my next one.